Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? How are you? Let me make sure everything's going smooth and that we're good to go. Oof, looks like audio's not right for the music. That should be decent now for the music. I don't know about you. I've got to listen to something to talk for an hour. Let the Discord know. All right, we're going live. But let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Test, test. Make sure X is working. Looks like it is. Per the usual, this stream is intended not to be used as financial advice. Even if we were to mistake this for financial advice, this is clearly an art show, and this would be god-awful financial advice, even if you were to make that mistake. So, welcome to the weekly Whale Watch. It's Rainbow Trends. We're looking at charts, checking out the markets, TradeFi, all that type of stuff. Hope you guys are doing well. And at any point you're curious why the charts look like they do, why aren't they in black and white? It's all Rainbow Theory, and you can check us out at rainbow-trends.com. There's all the write-ups and stuff on there, and I just started making some new tutorial videos, so we'll keep those going. But each of these, all the tools and stuff that you see, if you're curious, find it out, and you can sign up for $10 a month. But skin in the game, proof in the pudding. This week we used Rainbow Theory. Mally and I, as well as Dop, was talking about some things. There was a lot of capitulation trades this week, and that's screenshot from, I think it was about the middle of the day. Actual trades we entered yesterday, or I did, as well as some of the others in the Discord. So check out the Rainbow Discord. Those dudes are awesome. Just keep it in check with all that. Sorry, I had to check the audio. And we're just playing it out as it is. It's not just all goof. We got skin in the game. That's how we actually trade. We saw a lot of capitulation bottoms on crypto that we jumped on, and then that translated over to TradeFi, and that was some actual like overnight performances on some spot trades. So anyway, thank you, Jay Stacks. What's up, Victor? What's up? I'm glad you picked up on INTC when you did, because it's been a little while. Moving on. If you guys don't know, we spend a majority of our advertisement campaigns on the ad revenue, or not the ad revenue. We have no ad revenue. On helping out local dog shelters. It's our kind of thing. It's a goofball. I say goofball thing. It's definitely not intended to sell indicators. It's but it's going to help out local dogs, and that's what we're all about. And sometimes we like to, well, I say I like to. Back in the day, a few months ago, Doppel and I got into a political bet for fun, where we started betting dog food. Bags of Purina 1, which are $50 a bag. It's a very special type of dog food. It's quite expensive, but that's what the pound needs. And I've now spotted, and I'm now in the between, our guys Stacks and Nexus Blade Runner, who are in the middle of a bet where I'm going to be escrowing dog food over a political bet. And originally they were going to bet money. I made a cute reminder. I'm sorry, I got to plug this. This is not plug this. This is the cutest little puppy I've ever seen when we were doing the donations. Sweet little dude. And so now that's on. Nexus is doing another bet. And if you guys ever want to contribute, like I said, hit us up. I do the donations about once a month. And if you guys want to, just shoot me a message if you want to help out the dogs. It's just one of those things. I could spend money on a bunch of Google ads, or I could go blow the money at a dog shelter. I'm going to feel better dumping my money into a dog shelter and making sure those dogs are having a better time. But anyway, moving on. That's the basic intros and the warning. As a reminder, this is not financial advice. Like, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. The YouTube, Twitter algos. Twitter's been real crazy with the algos lately, so anything helps. And I wanted to start this off again. I plugged this before, and I will plug it again. Josh Olswicks does this for free, puts out these amazing content videos, and I wanted to point you guys out to these Macro Mondays. I don't know about you, this was the week of school starting. This past 2 weeks in my life, in my household, has been absolutely chaotic. My wife's a teacher, and I've got 2 kids who are starting school, and one of them just started kindergarten for the first time this week, so big deal. That was Wednesday. And I don't have time to dig into all this data like I want, but I watch these religiously, Macro Mondays with Josh Holzwicks, and I suggest you guys go check him out and give him some love because he does these for free. If you want to, you can subscribe, and I think you can actually, like, there's like a premium version. I think it's like $3 a month. Show him some love. Dude deserves it. But where are we at with charts? Where are we at? Dude, there's been tons of stuff. There's Russia war stuff going on. There's governments moving crypto. There's Jump moving crypto. There's Grayscale. There's Ethereum ETFs. There's FBTC. There was Restore the Republic rug. That all happened. I still don't know what all is going on with the dust settling there. But stuff's going down, and it's a bit wild, and that's fine. But we're gonna look at like some of the data. A lot of the trades that the Rainbow dudes have been hitting up the past 3 weeks have kind of been, I would say, the scarier trades. I say the scary. We're buying a lot of pain when people are like really capitulating, and we're playing the bounces as well as the meter versions. I'll go into those really, really deep with the charts because probably the last 20 or say last 15 trades, that's all I've been doing. And we'll go into it. But big thing here, Silk Road is moving $500 million of Coinbase Prime. The government, long story short, government is moving crypto to Coinbase. And that means government is about to start selling it. Are they going to dump it? Are they going to offload it slowly? Are they going to wait till next month? Or who knows? Doesn't care. What the point is, money's getting moved around by the government. And the government has a very, 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 very large bag of Bitcoin. Actually, $12 billion as of right now. So they're going to start moving the Silk Road stuff. It's going to change some things. And the point here, as I'm saying, is be on your toes because volatility is justified right now. When volatility is justified, you know, don't get caught with your pants down. Another one is Jump. Jump has been doing a bunch of unlocking of their staked Ethereum, and they're starting to sell it. And it's kind of impressive because Jump has been selling a ton of this stuff, and that's actually been doing pretty good. Quick check up with the miners. The miners have been doing... I really wish I hadn't done that. Make a reset. If you guys don't know, we're hitting all-time highs still on mining, which is really, really good to see. What we want to see, what we want to hear. And it's not the greatest thing to trade, but you definitely want to know that the miners are happy and healthy. That's true. And they are right now, and they're adding to the network, and they've survived the halvening. I don't think we're going to see any other miners blow up for technical glitches or technical bad planning on that stake. But it's something to keep an eye on. If this hash rate starts dropping off all of a sudden, we damn sure need to pay attention because something's going on. And when they capitulate, it can get really nasty in the markets. And that's just kind of what we want to be looking at. It's not something you check every day. Check it every week, every 2 weeks, whatever. Bitcoin flows have also been kind of getting weird. I say kind of getting weird. We've had inflows, we've had outflows. Truth be told, since they've opened up the mini GPTC trust, it's been pulling back Grayscale into being an offloader. And as you can see, all this red is Grayscale dumping. And the one thing I wanted to point out is shout out always Farside for putting this stuff together. Shout out Josh for posting it every day because he posts it earlier than they get the data. But thank God for CoinGlass. Your boy Runner used to sit here and take the daily numbers and plug them into Excel sheets and plot these charts manually about how much crypto does Grayscale have, how much is left, da-da-da-da-da. Well, we're here now. That data looks weird. But this is the Grayscale holdings. And this is what's still around. Now, it's these. The Grayscale has two funds. It has a mini and a major, or whatever, the original. One of them has a much higher fee. The other one has a much lower fee. And right now, before, this 1.5 was flooding into the others, and now that they've opened up this one internally, now it's way more outflowing out of Grayscale. But there's something we've like kind of been talking about in tracking. It's not about how do I say this? It's for sure watching this, but the thing is Silbert can only bleed for so long. That's the truth. And that is where we kind of look at this. This is the total accumulated or the total assets. This is the amount, not in dollars, but it's the amount of Bitcoin that Grayscale has under the 1.5 fee. And if you look at here, it's the second highest one is 0.25. This is a huge yearly fee. Now, a lot of people stayed in that because there was tax implications, but that's a lower fee that everyone's moving into. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dime can chime in later. I think you can go from GBTC to BTC without taking a taxable event. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on any of this because it's an art stream. But that's where we're at. And we're watching this bleed out. And it's really started bleeding out again. And you can see it here. See this huge jump? Let me move it in. This huge jump here was them opening that back up. What's up, Nexus? We covered you in the beginning with your bet against Stacks and how many bags of dog food you guys are going to bet against each other. So much love, Nex. And regardless, going back to this, they roughly started with around 600,000 Bitcoin, give or take, and they've been bleeding. And we were watching for this to stop because the theory was that eventually this was going to stop and then start climbing back up, and that was really going to be our signal. Well, with GBTC Mini opening up with a lower fee, this thing isn't really going to come back up. It should just bleed out technically to zero. Maybe there's some people that want to stay and have higher fees for the wrong reasons. Logically speaking, no one should ever stay in this when you can just go back to this one and get lower fees per year, especially if you don't have to pay a taxable event on it. I don't know why you would do that. And frankly, I don't know. But we also have to understand this. There's 240,000 Bitcoin still in the higher fee one, which makes no sense, period. So it's, I don't know why you would do it. Maybe people just don't, I don't know. So maybe this is one of those things, like every region in the world is to make this go to zero, and it may not. It may not. So anyway, moving on to the charts. We take a look real quick. They also have the Ethereum ETF on far side. And it's been interesting because there's been a lot of days where Bitcoin's been kind of dumping and the net inflow on this stuff's been pretty steady. Your boy BlackRock, Larry Fink, is buying tons of Ethereum. So for better or for worse, if you're an F head or you're a Sol Maxi and you're waiting on the Sol ETFs, it's whatever. It's all good. I like it. But this is another one that's bleeding out, and they already have the F mini futures, so we're going to see how this one goes. This one, though, right now is flowing a little bit less than the Bitcoin ones, which is good. It's the outflows are not as strong. But moving on, where are we at with the chart? If you guys don't know, we've been charting Bitcoin for years now, and we've been doing pretty good at it. I say pretty good at it. We've been checking our emotions, and we've been watching what these whales are freaking doing. Shout out the killer whales. And we've been in this range. We've been talking about the breakout. Man, shout out to the people who were back here in these days. Let me go to daily so we can catch it real quick. I've got marks all over this chart. I streamed for like a year straight in this. And we had crazy numbers of people watching it. And then we finally broke out. And now everyone's bored about it. Dude, Bitcoin's still over $50,000. It's an amazing day. And we watched this thing, and we've been watching the whales. We watched the FTX capitulation. We watched our order blocks break, and we got our ups and outs, and we were off to the races. ETFs hit, and then we've sideways stalled around the 2021 all-time high order block, which is this. Those peaks. The peak in April of 21 and the peak of November 21. And we've been stuck here for a while, and it's grinding people to a pulp. We've seen an entire Ansem arc where he's now the villain. We got 2 creek jumps in a row. So I'm getting known for creeks and Barts now at this point, which is not what I ever intended, but that's where we're at. Welcome to 2024. This is not anything like a normal Wyckoff chart. And then we recently had the yin carry trade completely die, and we actually got freaking white candles on Bitcoin in a reversion band. And the market completely crapped its pants. People got scared, and we've got rainbow traders who actually bid this, quite a few. A lot of capital was entered here. And a lot of people don't understand that. Crypto Twitter in general, if you watch them, they melt down when stuff like this happens. It is what it is. But the truth is we trade colors, we trade paint, and we check our emotions. The whole idea of like rainbow theory is, how far can a whale push colors? Whales can't push crypto to zero every day. They've tried. They can't. They can only go so far. It's the same thing with Tesla. All the biggest whales in the world can only dump Tesla so far. Like, remember Bill Gates shorted Tesla with an ungodly sized position, and the numbers still went up. So you've got to keep in mind, like, there are limits. It's just like the Matrix. You can only go so fast in each direction, and you can only go for so long, and that's just how this goes. And I'm telling you now, this isn't perfect. It's not 100 percentile, but you give me white candles inside this reversion band here, I feel very confident on a macro bottom for Bitcoin. And when I get a macro bottom on Bitcoin, I get macro bottoms across the board on alts. If you go back and look at the giant capitulation wicks back in the day, Bitcoin will bottom, and within 120 seconds, every other alt will bottom. And I'm talking full-blown capitulation stuff that like knocked the lights out on Binance and FTX. Those type of capitulation days. So when everything's like absolutely like painting and bringing down and people are crying, I don't look at a lot of charts. I'll look at the S&P, I'll look at Ethereum, I'll look at Bitcoin, and I'll kind of get a feel for it. But when I get Bitcoin in this area, I'm all hands on deck. And you can see these reversion bands. Yes, they're thick. They go to 21,000, right? This is bet the house area. The red and green are the standard bands, and then the cyan and the orange ones are actually the machine learning bands. They actually learn the trend. This thing is going back right now like 20,000 candles, and it's learning the trend. And it's telling you this is the strongest impulse we've ever seen in the entire history of Bitcoin that's currently printed on this chart, and it's telling you that's the never been done before territory. So that's why you guys see like Pixa talking about pinks and cyans. When you touch this cyan band, you're now in a strength area that's never happened before. So if an altcoin is printing pinks and cyans, you're at one of the greatest TPs you will ever see. You'll notice Bitcoin doesn't really like touching the red or green band. It's really, really hard for the whales to do that. And I know there's a bunch of stuff on this. And Bitcoin, also on the flip side, does not like touching this red band. But when it does, it tends to bounce. And that's the whole point of how Rainbow Theory originally started. I was trying to figure out, how do I measure what a whale can and can't do? So if we go back and look, this is the FTX capitulation event. Our boy Sam Bankman-Fried took an L, wiped everyone out. Bitcoin printed 1, 2, 3 white candles, and it barely got inside this band. Not the machine learning one, but it got in the standard one, and it held, and it bounced. And we went all the way up to pinks, and I sell pink candles like you wouldn't believe. That's my pink candle touching band. I'm out. It's really hard for the majors to hit the upper bands. Volatile as hell alts and meme coins, they can jump up and down, and that's totally fine. But these are the painful prints. And I'm showing you these because this is where you'll say runner's boring, he's not scalping. I'm not. I'm waiting for big events. I like swing trades. I like entering into the nastiest capitulations there are. I get comfy in spot and I sit on them because I don't feel like I can be touched. And most of the time I don't get touched. Worst case, I get stop lost at like break even. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying is that's what this is. This is how this stuff works. You turn all this off, you turn on Crypto Twitter, you turn off those colors there, people flip out because they don't know what this stuff means. They just see this. But what you're really seeing is there's a floor here. Put colors to this. You look at red and green candles, can't tell where the floor is. You look at basic tools, can't really tell you the floor. What this algo is telling you, that's the damn floor. And at a minute like this, so this is great case. We hit it, we bounce up, we force the bounce. Here, they hit it, they bounced, and then it bled out. And this is actually like when Tesla sold. So I'm not gonna hate on that. But the point is you can get in these capitulations comfortably, get into a slight profit, and then you can lock in your stop loss and sit fine. Crypto Twitter will be melting their minds out. And you'll just be like, all right, that's cool. I longed at like 28.4. I don't really care that it's barding through here at 30,000. I'm kind of cool and chill. And that's where we're at right now. We are at a bounce case. These don't happen a lot. You rarely ever see Bitcoin hit the red band on white candles. It doesn't happen often. But when it does, you need to check your emotions, figure out what you want to do. You damn sure don't want to short this. But you do need to like start looking at if you want to get a really, really nice entry, because these damn things bounce hard. Here's an example of a wick. You catch any part of this wick, within 4 hours, you're in a profitable position and you can lock in your position. So like you can risk on and know that shortly you're going to be risk off, right? And when I say that, like risk off means, hey, I got in somewhere around here. You're not going to catch the tip there. You're not. That's very, very rare. I've done it like once in my life. But you can get in at like 44.6. Price jumps up here to like 48.5. And like, hey, I'm going to stop loss at 47,000. I'm good. I can ride this out. And if it doesn't go up to here, which is I kind of call the yin yang trade, we'll go into that in a minute. I'm cool. My capital's preserved. I can wait again for another rainy day. And then finally, you can catch these rainy days and have them do the complete trend reversal where those freaking bears buried their heads so far into these bands, they pop and they go to the other side. And you get opportunity to catch like 40%, 50%, 100% swing trades on this stuff. You actually get the opportunity to do that. You won't catch it all the time, but you can get your entry in, you can protect it, and then you can let it go. And then you can explain to your friends why you trade rainbow colors and that why charts are not black and white. Like Eskimos have got like, 60 names for snow? Where I grew up, we didn't even see snow, but we had one word for it, right? Keep that in mind. There's stuff to this. There's billions of dollars being traded on this with some of the smartest people in the world. It's not black and white. It's not red and green. That's my take. Coming from Rainbow Cow, right? This is the examples. These are capitulations. This was the all-time low from the previous 65K high. This turned Coinbase offline. And we added heavily here. And it sucked. Like, we had to... We were buying mid to low 30s and watching this. And man, did it hurt. But we caught capitulation so bad, so deep into these bands... We know that eventually the day had to come where this was going to bounce and ride out. And this is when you push far enough and you have such a big decline, you can actually kind of figure out a rainbow theory, like accumulation bottom's going to come. And then like by the time you get to here, the Wyckoff guys, 99% of them, there are like 2 really good Wyckoff guys. You can figure out who those people are. The rest of them, they'll show you the Wyckoff hindsight charts over when it's here. And they're like, you idiot. You didn't see this spring, and you're like, okay, well, hey, dude, you're talking about this 2 months later. Where was your entry? And they, sorry, not financial advice. So it's a mixture of both accumulation, distribution, colors to all this stuff. I hope this stuff makes sense. Let me catch up on chat. Oh, yeah, Nexus, you're down for some bags of food, and you're gonna have to wire me some money in Zcash to pay up Stacks when he beats you on that. And we're gonna go donate it to the cutest puppy there is. If you wanna do dog beds, let me know. Either way, if you guys, and like for real, if you guys do want to donate, you just send me. You can message me and you can send me Litecoin or something like that. Whatever you guys send me, I 1-to-1 match it, and I just buy it with my credit card at Walmart and load up on the dog stuff they need. Anyway, what's up, Frank? The jet ski. I learned of the infamous BART from you. The BARTs suck, man. The BARTs took me 2 years to figure out because everyone talked about them, and then people kind of figured out what they were, and they're like, the BARTs are to liquidate the bulls and the bears, round trip everybody, flush the leverage books, and then keep the party going. And no one knew how to trade them. But to me, I was like, hey, a BART is clearly being printed by a whale. I need to figure this out, why a whale is messing with it and what a whale is doing. That was my take. And then 2 years later, I had to actually develop tools specifically for Barts that are now in the Rainbow Trend stuff. But we got it. And we do well. Like, when we're chopping and it's Barting, it's game on time, dude. It's game on. So that is kind of the theory of bounce trades. Like, the whole reason you guys even get to see like rainbow trends is because way back in the day, I would knife catch and call it live on Twitter, and people eventually started going, how the hell are you like telling us the levels at which to buy these capitulation events? Because it was like really specific. I was like, hey, a yellow's gonna be like here, a white's gonna be here, this is like no-go zone. So it's like long, bet a lot, bet the house. And like we got a bunch of calls right on that, and people were like, how the hell are you doing this? And I was like, well, you're not gonna believe me. I trade rainbows, and no one knows what the hell I'm talking about because I kind of made up the language myself, and I talk funny. But it paid off, and people are like, no, whoa, you can. There's obviously something here because you like figured out limits of what these whales can do. I was like, well, yeah, and then during COVID, set up a freaking LLC on my couch while watching my kids with an old ThinkPad. So it's been a weird journey, because none of this was ever meant to be public. I just traded it myself and thought no one would ever take this seriously. But here we are. It's all about the friends we made along the way, right? As goofy as this is. Nexus is going down. Maybe Nexus will take the L, but he'll do the honorable thing like Doppel and still donate the food even if he loses the bet or wins the bet. Anyway, much love, Dop. I hope he's doing well. He's taking a little bit of a hiatus. I miss him. And because I say I miss him, I'm gonna show it to you now. Give me a second. Let me take a segment into the doppelbait that I've been working on for months now. Months. I say months. I've been working on this for weeks. I'm going to let you guys in on this because I posted a little bit of elusive stuff, and something is in process now that has never been done before. And I'm going to give you guys some insight into this week's doppelbait, because this is the only bait I got this week, except for the Baja anniversary, which everyone missed. I have obtained the Decision 2020 Janet Yellen card, and I am the first person to have submitted it to PSA to be properly graded. So, and I bought the cheap version of the PSA grading. So in approximately 45 days, we're going to unveil to see what the first PSA graded Janet Yellen playing card is going to come in at. It's never been done before. So I'm very excited. Been hinting it a bit in the Discord. And it's all fun and games. I love DOP, and I love doing the art of baiting people, and it's always in fun. It's not to make fun of people. And this is the most prime, ridiculous thing I could do with doppelbait on a Janet Yellen playing card, Decision 2020, which is interesting because I didn't know these existed, and then I found out they did exist. And if you go look at like the Decision 2020, there are like Stormy Daniel cards, and there are PSA graded and autographed like Stormy Daniel cards. So anyway, yes, Fletch, this has never been done before. I looked it up, and when I was looking it up, they were giving me PSA grades, like how many were PSA 9, how many were PSA 10. And the one I bought came in a plastic card, so there's a chance. There's no fingerprints on it, and it could go PSA 10. And then I'll have the only PSA 10 Janet Yellen card, and I don't know. I'll have to use it for some type of bait at some point. Maybe he'll trade for something for it. But anyway, I'm working on that. It's going to take like 4 weeks. But back to trading. So I keep it really simple. You guys know me. I like watching Bitcoin and I like watching Ethereum. And if I can get the colors on Bitcoin and Ethereum roughly the same time, I'll go grab alts. I'll go grab Bitcoin. I'll go grab Ethereum. I sit in spot and I'm comfy. People lose their mind. People get stressed out with trading. I don't get stressed out. I sleep like a baby. And if you're not sleeping properly and you're up at night, guys, it's not good for your health. These degens are not going to be making it long term mentally. Degens survive, but like, don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. Like, like back in the day when I was first doing like development of like these capitulation, these rainbow tools, I automated a bunch of this stuff and just had it flat out buying stuff on Binance on capitulation wicks. So I'd wake up at like 2:30. I'd wake up the next morning and find out the bot spent tons and tons of money buying crazy stuff in the middle of the night, and I was like up in profit, but I still slept like a baby. But either way, just giving you like proof, like you can get rhyme to the reason and be chill. So let me run you through this one because Ethereum is the main one that I bid on crypto, and I'm still in the position, and I'll walk you through this because there's a big thing where like people think like, oh, it's just show. I don't like posting a lot of P&L stuff. I'll post you percentages, and I don't like pushing people into trades. I'm not about crypto trading copying because it doesn't work, and frankly, I've gone this far into the spectrum of chasing whales into unknown territory with a bunch of rainbows and stuff like that. There's stuff I can give you that'll help you. There's stuff you can teach me. There's stuff I can teach you. You'll never, ever be able to emulate me, and I'll never be able to emulate you, is the best way to do it. You can study the breaks off Trader Main. You'll never be Trader Main. But you can pick up pieces of what he does, and then you can make a profitable trading version of yourself, and you trust your own instincts and you run from there. I'm real far on the spectrum on indicators. A lot of people just want two colors, maybe look at RSI. I'm real out there. It is what it is, but it's what worked for me because I needed colors to see this. I couldn't see order blocks like Trader Main could, so I started trading. I started making algorithms that could make them. So anyway, moving on. What's up, Dime? Man, you have your old PFP profile on there. I really like the new one, by the way. So let me walk you through this one. And if you see these little dots here, there's a machine learning reversion band update that's coming, and it has those alerts on it. Those, you can put little symbols on it, and when you get inside the bands, and you can set alerts. So I watched Bitcoin and Ethereum. They both blew out, and I started watching Ethereum because Ethereum was more on my radar than most, and Ethereum felt more right to me the way this printed, especially when you see the RSI colors printing like pink and purples. The RSI hitting pink with a white candle is like go time for me. It will make me capitulate long. I will throw money at the screen, log into Coinbase, transfer money, and I buy. And I sit spot, so I don't care if this thing wiggles. You dudes who do 100x, God help you. It's just not for me. Not naming names, but it is Nexus and it is Pixa. Not that this is financial advice in any form. This is clearly a cooking show and an art show. So Dime, the appetizers were at the beginning. We're almost to the main course. So this nuked deeper into the candles, or into the reversion bands. It tagged the 1 hour machine learning band, which is this orange one that's kind of overlaying in here. And I got pink RSI candles. And if you guys don't know, when I originally developed Rainbow Trends, I back tested like 200 something different indicators, probably closer to 300. 99% of them have no actionable data. You can turn them into bots by themselves. They don't have signal. RSI was one of the nastiest things I've ever come across in my entire life, and it works on multiple time frames, and it adjusts. It's a beautiful equation, but people don't know how to read it. They look at the squiggly line oscillator, and they can't really read it, so that's why I did it color-wise. It is what it is. But when you get pink, which is like the strongest RSI color, and purple, which is the second strongest, on a white candle pushing this far into the bands, you get me here, I have to have the mental conversation is it's Vitalik's either sending this completely to zero and it's a scam, or this will bounce. So the odds are with me that this thing will bounce. That's where the odds are at, right? And I longed, and I was lazy. I was on my phone. This has been crazy week, like I said. I got in at 23.50. I got in here, and I held it and just watched and watched and watched. And now we've pulled up out of the bands, and now it's chopping, and people are now getting interested because it's had such a great recovery. People are now interested in there trying to long this. Well, the problem is when you're in the middle, that's where it gets choppy as hell. You get dead set between these bands, these reversion bands, and you start doing the weak colors. These are just red and green weak candles. It's chop city. This is just liquidating people left and right. Barp, 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 barp. Chop, 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 chop. And now people are starting to cry again because it's starting to come back down. Dudes, it's still at 25.50. I was lazy and got in at 23.50. I still don't care. Like, I'm not emotional about it. I care, and I'm hoping that I win, but I will say this, I'm numb to it right now. I sleep like a baby. I don't check my phone at the middle of the night. It is what it is, because the situation is either I'm going to get this move up, the yin-yang trade, up to this band. Actually, I'm on 1 hour. I'm going to leave those back up. This is a 4-hour print. Either I get this, or I'm gonna get stop loss, break even, and then I don't care, right? I'm gonna win, or I'm gonna break even, which means I don't care emotionally. I sleep. I'm not stressed. People are stressed right now. You don't trade this. So check your emotions, buy pain, make gain. I know it's cheesy, I know, but we're trading rainbows here. It works. That is the basis of a rainbow trade for capitulation events. Now, what's happened is markets went nuts. Crypto bottomed, and then TradeFi bottomed, but TradeFi bottomed slower. Typically, what sucks is it's like more efficient, but it's slower. So let me show you the ideas on a few of these things, but before I go, let me find it because I posted it, and I apologize. I know this is a dumb way to describe it, but I call them yin-yang trades. And what I mean is you push me that far into the evil, you're going to give me that much more on the back end. It's like the good and the good and the bad and the good. So this is what we want to see on all these alts. 95% of the alts, except like Zcash and Aave, nuked into this band, printed white candles with pink RSIs, and they bam, went to the other side. And when I say 100% move, I'm not saying that was a complete move. This TU was literally 100% move up. It went from a penny and a half up to almost 3 pennies. Yeah, 3 pennies, which shitcoin, but sure. But you get the point. This is the goal. This is what I'm hoping for. This is what I want. This is what I want to get. I may not get it, but that's the goal. Hit that other side of this green band. And I may or may not get there, but if I lose, I don't lose any money, right? So that's why I'm real numb to this, and I went really, really hard here with considerable amount of money, and it's sitting slightly in profit. And I think I was 23. It was about 23.50. I didn't even DCA it. I just threw a market buy. Now I'm up 9% on a big spot trade, and it was up to 17%. And I could have TP'd there, but I was like, I'm gonna sit. I think this was bloody enough to do it. And TradeFi was recovering, so I was like, I think we'll get it. But a lot of the altcoins have fully done that move. And that's kind of the example. And God forbid, or I say God forbid, God help you. If you could come up with a better name for this, I'm all ears. A bunch of these like Rainbow Trend noobs. I'm reading the chat. Thank you, Dime. TradeFi. It's I need a better name for this. I don't know what it is. What you call it? You push that far into the bears, the bulls respond, and the bulls explode on the other side, and you get kind of equilibrium. Really, what these do is they hit so hard, they go back up, and then they just kind of level out. Everything's got to reset. The bulls and the bears have somewhat of an equilibrium, and then they kind of move forward, right? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on altcoins. Let me see if anything's moving right now. See, I'm just randomly checking. I don't even know what media is, but that's the example of a yin-yang trade. Media went all the way down here, went back up here. You're like, runner, I want to leverage trade. No, this is spot trading, and that's 96%. You can do a lot of damage. Let me see what were some other ones. Here you go. SUI. This is a yin-yang trade. That's whales completely nuking the books and getting forced to have the bulls respond. And that's a trade. Now, I'm telling you, I'm not in these. I don't really trade SUI. I wasn't in those, but I'm telling you the ones I'm in and what I'm looking for. And this is playing out to a T of what I wanted. It's just happening in the other ones so far. There's no guarantee I'll get it, but I'm already up 10% and I'm chilling. APT, this is another one, went all the way up. And nobody wants to buy those. So you have to like chill out and like really study your colors. Math didn't get all the way there. Magic didn't get there. Muse did. Full hit. So I'm showing you this is repeatable. It's not just one altcoin. These things load up and they bounce, and it's tradable. You can get in safely, knock on wood. You can protect yourself with a stop loss break even or like a 1% gain, or you can do multiple TPs, doesn't matter. Tia went all the way to the other side. You know, the crappy trade is, I say crappy. If you're not fortunate enough to get to the other side, you can usually get to the middle of the chop. So if you want to do like a partial TP in the middle between those rainbow bands, that's cool too. Because the one that I really liked besides Ethereum, I bought heavy Bitcoin, I bought Ethereum mainly, and then I also bought OP. Optimism just looks really good to me. Just the way it was actively printing on like the lower time frames. And yeah. It went up. Where is it? My chart's a mess here, but it moved up 39%. Like I said, you're not going to catch these wicks. They only happen for a few seconds on those bottom ones, but it's telling you that's 40% to play with, and it never even hit the other side. So like if you're looking for 10%, you can knock 10 out of that pretty easily. But we're going to see. I want it to get over here. I'm not there yet, but we might. If we don't, I don't care. I'm not going to lose money, so it's cool, right? So anyway, moving on, taking a break. Trade like traditional. Love how Dime randomly shows up and throws off all my game because I'm such a big fan of Huck and Hugo. I'm not a fan of Dime. Anyway, if you guys don't know, that's his cats with inverted names. But moving on. If you guys didn't know, the Palauan president, my president, accuses China of weaponizing tourism. This is breaking news. This is heavily affecting Palau, our beloved island in the middle of the ocean that sadly just returned back from the Olympic Games with 0 medals. Hopefully we're going to get to change that. But speaking of medals, which has no correlation to what I'm about to click next, let me look at this real quick. So you guys talk about like all this stuff that I'm talking about, like, oh, whales, wow, blah, blah, blah. Let's show you some. Does anything stick out to you? These are weaponized and algorithmically trading whales. And does anything look really, really interesting? Nature does not draw straight lines. That is a martingale. That is a gigantic whale who trades with robots. Those positions are 693. What is this in USD? Or that's 600. Oh, shit. Each one of those lines is over 500 Bitcoin leveraged. That's big whale. Big. Point is, what I'm telling you, there's dudes fighting here. It's not manually trading. Majority of the trades are done by computers, and they're fighting, and they're some of the smartest people in the world. That's what those dudes are, and that's what they do. That's Binance futures, Binance USDT. We can go look at coin futures as well, and you can see the algorithms change a bit, and they look different. But can you tell who's wanting to get filled here? And then they get filled. Stuff like this happens. So like when you see like liquidity theory stuff, like what Crypto ISO does, when he's on fire, and that stuff matters. When the whales are chasing liquidity, you can get targets out of this stuff, and he can look at projected liquidity and find out where it's going to hit. Like, it's pretty cool. It's hard. You got to really study this stuff. It's a really, really advanced thing, but I like looking at this stuff, frankly, because like a lot of my whale theory stuff with like rainbows and stuff is here, and you can see it, and you can see what these dudes are doing, and they do some really interesting stuff at times. That's the Binance, or that's the Coinbase spot book. Like, do you see the market maker whale here? Let me see if I can get him exposed. Hold on. You see these outer bands? Right there. You see this, dude? See how they draw lines here? And the lines match? This guy's running an algorithm that takes the price of Bitcoin and it moves it up 5%, 10%, 20%. I'm making up the percentages, but you get the idea. And they close these every single candle and they reposition them. And these are big funds. Frankly, these are 5 Bitcoin at least a piece, right? And that keeps price in check and pricing control. And that's how they do like their market making. And if you look at like the low time frame market makers, that's all this noise, right? Look, weird stuff happens. See these order blocks? Bitfinex, the goofy place, right? Somebody's got like a really weird bot and they could damn near write their name if they wanted to. So I find this really nerdy. Maybe you can't trade it, but it's really showing you like what's going on here. Somebody is willing to put 80 orders into Bitfinex. They're not doing this manually. They do this with computers. No one's willing to sit there, do this every single candle and change them, let alone draw a damn stop loss through. This is really weird. I have no idea what this idea is. It's a really weird thing to do, but it's actually like, you guys want to see the actual whales? That's an actual whale trading. That's what they do. And you're going to spot them in the limit orders. The big boys don't trade market buys. They use the limit orders. So keep that in mind. Shout out Trading Light. I like your guys' product. So let me show you, let me pull up my notes because I wanted to run you through. I showed you guys the yin yang in crypto. Now, ooh. No, that's yin yang. That's not Wu-Tang. I'm just thinking of better terms. If you guys don't know, I'm a big Wu-Tang fan because I taught all my children to tell, when they were little kids, I would tell them to introduce themselves as, my name is and I like to party. And if anyone ever asked my kids what their favorite band was, they would yell at the person talking to them and yell out Wu-Tang, which I just loved. So anyway, let's look at these bounce setups. We can call them bounce for now. You can call them yin yang twins. We can maybe come up with we can call it liquid sword trades if we want to go with our favorite Wu-Tang album. Ford bottomed bad. If you don't know what happened to Ford went really, really hard into the EV market and the EV path forward for Ford Motor Company. If you don't know them, look them up. It's one of the biggest selling companies in the world as far as automotive. And what happened was they screwed up. They went full on EV and then they didn't really make really good EVs and everything kind of took a shit. And we marked a bottom. And we marked a scary bottom. Why do I call it a scary bottom? Ford has been in a trading range since June of 2022. And if you guys have been watching Discord, Mally and Hot Pins and myself have been trading Ford because it tends to come down, find support, and bounce. And you can catch these swing trades. There's rhyme to the reason. You're not going to catch every single one. You're not going to get the perfect TP. These TPs don't hit all the perfect sides. But you can damn sure do some damage, and it's awesome. So, there's these scary events where it breaks through, and then your inner Wyckoff is going like, that's not a Wyckoff chart, but is that a spring? That and that. I don't know. I can tell you this isn't a perfect Wyckoff chart, but I can also tell you this is damn sure accumulation. It could be redistribution over 3 years and then Ford just dies off and this goes lower. But what I can tell you is there's a major order block here that tends to hold, and these didn't. We broke through them. Now this one, I don't remember if there was a reason. Well, you go. Bad earnings, sure. This one, earnings came out. People figured out that their EVs were going to be a problem, even though it was very, very forecasted. And I told you guys the Ford Lightning was built wrong. Shout out Toyota. And it completely nuked. And we started, actually, it nuked down to the order block that had support. And then it went down and it printed white candles and a reversion band. And I know that sounds boring. You keep saying white candles, reversion bands. It is simple. Well, There's 10,000 lines of code that prints all this stuff on the screen right now. So it's not that simple. But to us, it's simple when the outputs are. White candles are rare. And we don't normally see this band touched ever by Ford. And it did. I don't think Ford's ever going to go away. I think they'll eventually figure it out. I think people are going to still buy Mustangs. So even though I'm a Toyota maxi, I think Ford's going to survive. So if it's boring, sure, I had to wait a long time. We haven't seen one since October of 2023, and it's August of 2024. But it hit, and the signals are telling me you don't need to be scared. You need to actually put money on the line, and we did. And I'm in profit right now. Right now, overnight, I'm up 3% on Ford. You can go check the screenshot that I posted in the beginning. We bought this, and it gapped up today. And I'm kind of safe. Hold on, something's wrong. There. I had the old RSI prints up. I'm so sorry. So sorry. There's your RSI prints. Pink RSI, white candles, reversion band. But you're like, hey, runner, you were talking shitcoins. Works on Ford too. And there it is. It's just slower. But you don't get this often, if ever. This doesn't happen very often. And some companies legit die. Some do. And they do, right? We have seen that happen. But Ford made it through the automotive industry bailouts, and they didn't need a bailout. Here's another one. That's purple RSI. That's the second strongest RSI. Bounce. This one went, like you said, you're not going to catch the perfect bottom. That bad boy went up to 45% on Ford before it pulled back and went even higher, which was 53. Now, that's a lot of time. That's not an overnight trade, but you guys get the point. Even here, all these, none of these are pink, right? These are blues and greens, which is the second and first levels. That is the strongest RSI print. If you know, RSI is my favorite. One of my favorites. So we got rainbow color rotations. We got reversion bands. We got a runner bot saying bottom. I longed it. And I'm in position now overnight, 3%. And I can protect that. I can do really well with that. Next one, Intel. I'm going to show you one that went wrong and how we played it. Intel had some chip issues. And in general, this is runner bot. You're not going to get perfect tops and bottoms every single time, but if you notice, it's actually going between crypto and to stocks, and it's hanging. It's rare to see that. Ignore bottom prints pretty much in the middle of the range. That's my guide. You get bottom prints towards here, good stuff. We want to pay more attention to that. But it's an algorithm, and it gives me more layers here. We got essentially a channel walk all the way into these rev bands, printed ridiculous stuff, and we bounced. And I got in here. I was like, I think my original entry was just a hair over 30, and it bounced. And I could have taken a 22% trade, which over like a 3-week period or something like that, I could have gotten 23% out of a scalp trade in boring TradeFi. I could have. I didn't. And I thought we were good. I was wrong, and it went lower. And lo and behold, I didn't have a stop loss. I know I preach stop losses. I didn't have it on Intel. I'm sorry. I'll let you guys down. But we had a position to get in. We got in. It went up to 20% profit. Should have locked it in, but I think I'm looking longer term on this because to me, I'm looking for the macro bottom Intel because they've screwed up so bad with their chip design. I'm looking for the bottom. I don't know where that like macro bottom is, but it's somewhere there. So the yen carry trade blew out. We had another level. Now we've seen a chart earlier. Go back and look at it. Bitcoin did this, bam, and then we finally got the bottom with FTX, whatever, right? We got the bottoms. It was around the bottom FTX print. It was before it. It's the second leg down. But we got a second leg down into these bands, and you can see these machine learning bands, these orange ones that are taking the sharp turn. The AI is learning, and it's telling me we're in the never been done before territory. We got pink RSI candles, and I started adding to my position here. And now my current DCA is like 23. So I'm willing to keep playing with this for a long time. Dops put up a lot of literature. Go read it. I tend to jump and want to keep chatting to him before I before I read it all, and I'm very sorry. I get excited. Even then, we got a top signal I ignored there, but we're looking here, and we're in position from our entries. My entries yesterday are up 2%, right? So that's Intel, but that's one that went wrong. When the layer down went up. I'm not going to tell you guys I'm perfect, but I'm going to tell you where there's signal here that you can really action on, and then let you guys manage it. Because if I can show you where, like, hey, here's like a 90% probability you can get in and be safe, you guys can go be nasty with this. So go be nasty with this. Another one, Micron Technology. I really like this stock because it moves a lot. And it went deep into these bands. And it has, from the very, very bottom here, when it quit finally printing white candles, it's now up 26%. Yesterday, I added to it, and I'm up, I think, 3% from here. I think I added around here yesterday, and it printed these today. I don't remember. I think overall I had some other entries that were here lower, so I'm DCAing into this one, so I'm just, bear with me, I'm trying to recall it mentally, but I grabbed some here, and then I grabbed some here when it started really recovering, and I got the bottom print on like the H2, and I think the H4 printed it too. That's an example of a bounce. Right now, my entire DCA into Micron Technology is bullish. And I say bullish, it's in profit, and I can lock it in. And I'm going to lock it in tomorrow. Nike is one that went wrong. And I DCA'd in deeper. And I finally caught the bottom. So I take that back. I was messing with Nike on another thing. No, hold on. Let me check it. Nike went real bad. This kind of looks like the Ford trade a little bit, right? This one nuked. That's what it was. I bought this, catching that pivot bounce, and then something happened on their earnings. Their forward guidance was shit, and it went boom, and I re-added. But as you can see, I'm gonna rub your guys' nose in this until you can see it without me even mentioning it. You can like DM me or message. You're gonna at me in the Discord and say, "Hey, runner, this is printing pinks on whites in a reversion band. Should I pay attention?" Yes. White candles, pink RSI in a reversion band, and it bounced. It's not, well, it's science, but whatever. It's not rocket science. Nike, he sells your Air Jordans, is up 17% in just a few days. So looking at this at a lower time frame, you can pull your pivots in and you can see it. This bled hard. Look at the volume. Whales were nuking this damn thing. What's up, Victor Rebirth? Oversold, yes. Pink going down. Eventually, the RSI quit printing. We got bottom print, and then support pivots started showing, and they started testing it. And we didn't get Malley's desired setup yet, and we never did, and it finally held. But I'll cover a Malley setup in a minute. But the point is, I'm showing you optimism in Ethereum crypto charts, and then I'm showing you the same damn patterns on Nike shoes. These whales have patterns, and it's the same patterns, the same paint, and it matters. The reason it matters is you can't crystal ball this stuff. What's the stock going to do in 5-6 months? You can't do that. But I can tell you, living in the now, trading in the now, we're not hindsight here. We're watching this, and we know with a very high probability this damn thing's going to bounce, and that's why we trade colors. Like that's why we do this. Most people's eyes can't see this, so we're forcing it to make it simple. My white candles, pink RSI inside that rev band. Let's go. And that's where I got long again on Nike. And I got around, Nike was, I don't recall. Nike, I was up 4% today on the second entry. So my DCA is not here. It's somewhere in this gap. And I think it might be, I think it's actually, I only had a small position here, and I tripled this position here because this was so nasty. But you guys get the point. I'm going to keep going these examples, and you guys can go back and study these if you want. But this is just totally walking you through. Bam, bam, bam. These are the setups. So another one, Snapchat. Snapchat fell off the freaking map. And it actually did 2 days. worth of printing here. And we waited for this thing to start rotating because as amazing as that is, eventually pinks quit printing and you can see the color rotation here. We've got, let me move these up so they pop a little better. Guys, I will totally hop in the Discord. We're totally doing the roundtable. So definitely hop on the Discord later. Link in bio if you guys don't have the link. It's actually in the main website. It's the top banner. You can click the Discord. So this eventually quit printing RSI. We got a color rotation. Beautiful color rotation. We went from whites back to yellows, down to oranges, down to red, and now we're going to start printing greens once we cross that bad boy. And I'm up on Snapple 2%. Not Snapple, Snapchat. I miss Snapple. So yeah, Snapchat, a company I don't like, and I have no idea why this is even a publicly traded stock. We're going to get a bounce here. We're in profit. I can already lock in here. Maybe Snapchat does die and whatever, right? But that's the idea. Next one is Toyota. I love Toyota. That's all I drive. Even though I have a Subaru, Toyota designed it. It's chill. We got a really, really nice bottom print here. Yellow candles that wicked into us. And we got actual pink RSI on Toyota. My favorite engineering company. And it's bounced. It's bounced hard. Like, this is... You don't normally get these opportunities. 10%, 8% already. Today it went up 3%. It's good. Real good. Will this continue? So this is the hey runner, you're wrong. It continues to grind. That's great. I got in here and it shot up 10%. I'm Gucci. I can sit here and be okay. What's that? What do I say by that? I can go in hard spot and know that I'm not gonna, or be very confident that I'm not gonna lose my position. I can break it even, do a stop loss break even. I don't care. I got to expose my capital, very little risk for a potentially big move. If I nail this absolute bottom, we start coming back up. If I got in at 160 and this thing goes to 200, that's a killer trade. It's gonna take me a while. I may get it, I may not, but at least I got to put my money on the chart and not be terribly exposed. So now I'm gonna show you a Mali trade. Malifestro nailed this one and a few of the others in the Discord. Frankly, the Kokomo at Dutch Bros is enough to get me bullish. If you guys don't know Mali, he does something that's taken me a very, very long time to understand. And I still don't fully understand it. He's a rainbow theory hybrid with ICT is in a whole bunch of other indicators. But it's a mix and we somewhat talk the same language. So this, Mali will catch stuff and see that we're in potential danger zone with like rainbow theory stuff, and then he will go down to lower time levels. And we're going to have him back on the stream sometime when school and all that cools down. And he can go back through this because the original Mali stream is like 3 freaking hours long. And I know more of how he talks now, so I can better understand it. But essentially what you get with a Mali trade, you get a capitulation wick. It pops. I call this a piggyback. I don't know what he calls it, but you set a low. You then sweep the low, and then you wait for the low to then show support again. So the original low comes back and shows support. So you see a low, you see a sweep the low to get into that thick liquidity. You pop back up, and then you kiss the old support, which was here, and then that damn dude will surge in entry right here with size. With a very tight stop. And you know me, I like 2 hour, I like H4. Homie will be on like 5-minute charts and be like, and he'll get in. And different rhymes, different reasons. And whatchamacallit, sorry, there's this gamer in Twitch. F you guys. If you guys don't know, we got well prints here. Shout out Pixa. So literally the setup Mali absolutely loves was confirmed here on that support that held. Get long, and then look at these well prints. Ba 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 ba. The algorithm's picking it up. So he spotted that with his crazy system, which is heavily based on rainbow theory. Heavily. I joke. It's a good chunk of it, but And then we got big gap up. So from what would have been Mally's like surge in entry, which I can't do. I can't look at charts full time like that. Went up 11% on a day trade on 5-minute candles. Dude nailed it. We don't always get these, but that's a Mally trade. And that's kind of what Rainbow Theory can show you, and like check that stuff out, because this is really cool. I don't know anybody else who talks schematics like this other than maybe 9K. So anyway, moving on. I have nothing else to show. That's the list of the stuff I wanted to show you guys. That is reversion trading with colors. And that's how we make rhymes of all this reason. And if you guys want to show any type of support, definitely click subscribe, click like, drop a comment, because these algorithms love any type of interaction. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, whoever. And come hang out with us in the Discord. You can go ask the OGs. I didn't come up with this setup I just drew here. Mally taught me this. So it's really good to go into those roundtables and listen and talk and ask questions. People show me stuff all the time. And I even tell people, majority of my updates to Rainbow Theory have past year have all been suggestions. So anyway, much love. I'm going to go head into the Discord. And like I said, if you guys don't have the Discord link, because Discord's sometimes hard to find, definitely just go to the main website, and it's right here at the top. Join our Discord community, and that will take you to the Discord, and I will talk to you guys in the Discord in about 5 minutes once we get everything set back up. So much love. Thank you guys for showing up, and we'll see you guys next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mailman.